Thank you, Mr. Pippo. Question for you, Mr. Pippo. What are your thoughts about the Solano County Fairgrounds?
Solano County Fair has a little fiscal problem. They have a hard time making it pay. They have a Vision 360 program is what they call it. They have spent $5 million of the reserve funds of your county on consultants, design consultants, to answer that question, what should be done. Most recently, a month ago, there was a hearing at which time, after the hearing, Supervisor Sparing said, I want to forestall any further hearings on this because we got some problems with the Vallejo citizens that don't want to do what we're doing. We need to send them back to the Vallejo City Council so we don't have to argue with these folks. So they did a good deed 2 weeks ago. They canceled the push for spending $30 million of your money and $124 million of a developer's money to create a river walk type of ambiance that they have in San Antonio, in Vallejo. I ask you, you know Vallejo's crime problem, you know Vallejo's traffic problems. How many of you go home, tell your wife, hey honey, get cleaned up, let's go to dinner in Vallejo? I don't think you're going to do that. They don't have a police department anymore. Yesterday at their board hearing, they don't have a fire department to serve the unincorporated area without a 7-minute wait. Vallejo is a bankrupt city in the county. Soon, Solano County will be a bankrupt county. Why? Because of no leadership, mismanagement. I hope they cancel the 360 program at least until I have a chance to win this election so that we then can cut our losses. I mean, they threw away a $3 million phone system, didn't bat an eye. We can throw away $5 million on consultants and redirect the rebuilding of a logical county fair, not a riverwalk.
Thank you. Mr. Vasquez, what are your thoughts about the Solano County Fairgrounds?
Well, the fairgrounds is a facility that's over 60 years old. Something needs to be done. We've seen attendance drop, and really have been working with the fair board in the city of Vallejo to come up with a vision for that entire area. It's over 150 acres. 26 acres was given to the county for fairgrounds, and it must stay in some public use, or it reverts back to the owners. Mr. Pippo he throws some big numbers out there. But really, the commitment, not the money that's been spent so far, but the commitment of $4 million to get this project entitled. And when it does get up and running, it'll be 5,500 construction jobs, 2,500 permanent jobs. It'll be $8.5 million in new taxes to the city and to the county. It'll be over $500 million invested, private and public, majority of it private. And this doesn't include the dollars that are coming in from the people that are going up and down that road. It is one of the last spots on Interstate 80 to have that economic, to have the amount of land that it has available for economic development. And certainly we want to help the city of Vallejo. At one time was the flagship city in this county. It's run in some difficult times, but it will come back. And one of the ways of doing it is investing. So when you talk about cost, you have to really think about the investment we're making in this community to help it along. And in return, those developments that occur out there by the private sector are all new tax dollars. So part of it will be the fair itself, but the majority of it will be in private construction and private development.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez. Your question. What do you believe should be done with the Nut Tree Airport?
To me?
To you, Mr. Vasquez.
Well, we're currently going through a master plan. And one of the reasons we're going through a master plan right now was because the feds realized that we really had concerns about the airport and were willing to make investments. And again, we've loaned almost $8 million to the airport. And so far have gotten back from the feds in the states about half of that. And those investments were really to take in property to ensure the safety and the future development of the airport itself. It is, for many years, been called a diamond in the rough Well, I believe it has a number of facets on it now. It is a key component to the economic development of the county and to the city of Vacaville. And recently we had an individual place 2 aircraft there. Over $50 million worth of personal property tax that gets split up between us. Some of it goes to the county, some of it goes to the city, some of it goes to the schools. No impact other than it picks up gas and it leaves every now and then. So the airport is a vital economic engine to this community and to the county itself.
Mr. Pippo, what do you think should be done with the Nut Tree Airport?
I was invited to attend the first stakeholders meeting of the plan that has been referenced of the Nut Tree Airport. And I was asked to go on the behest of the supervisor, Councilwoman Clancy. And so I got in on the ground floor, and then I've attended almost every meeting since. What worries me is what the incumbent referenced, and he's very proud of the fact that $50 million more of money is based at the Nut Tree Airport now, which is, yeah. But you know, don't get lost in the mad dash for cash, because if you put a couple of commuter planes in there, you could gain a lot more money, and maybe if they were a little bigger plane, you could gain a lot more money. Is that credible with the safety record that the airport has now, which is pretty good? Is there, I'm going to have to see the studies that say if you increase the jet traffic, that it doesn't increase the risks. Remember, you don't have a control tower. There's a lot of complications of basing these multi-million-dollar jet planes, which I think is what he's referencing. And you know, there's a big demand by his campaign contributors right off the bat. Jelly Belly lobbed $10,000 to Mr. Vasquez's campaign. His jet is based in Napa right now. Maybe that's one that just recently got based at the Nut Tree Airport. I don't know. Copart has a couple of jets there, and I think there's a demand to increase the jet traffic in this airport. I don't know enough about it. I'm studying it. I'm attending the meetings. I think we have to look very carefully at pushing out the old tenants that have been existing at the airport in making way for these new high-dollar airplanes, because there's a lot of local people that have their planes out there. I think we need to be careful of that, and we need to assure the citizens of Vacaville that we're not going to create a more dangerous situation. That is my priorities on the airport.
Thank you. Mr. Vasquez, what can the county do to bring more jobs to Solano County?
Well, I believe I touched on that earlier in some of my comments about what the county has done since 2005, where Supervisor Reagan and I make up the Committee of Economic Development and Tourism. Again, we held our first tourism summit, first in the county, and out of that came the 80 on 80. Out of that came the Visitor's Guide. We have funded some economic summits to look at what the assets are here in Solano County, how we can better work together with the cities, because that's where the development occurs. The next summit is going to be an ag summit. How do we help processors? How do we provide that added value to those things that are being grown here in Solano County? Mr. Pippo talked about the dehydrators. Well, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's a seed packaging plant. Maybe it's an additional facility for cold storage, given the amount of truck farming that's coming out of Solano County. You know, this is Solano County, Yolo County. In fact, the summit includes Yolo County because we're looking at it as a region. Solano and Yolo produce some of the finest seed in the world. It's shipped all over, but yet we don't package it here. We send it someplace else. So part of that effort to improve the economy where we can as a county in agriculture, we're working on. Part of that effort to improve the economy within the cities, we're looking at it. At energy, at life science, at education. Those things are all important. And that's what we've been doing for the last 5 years, working towards and working with the cities, city councils, the mayors, and with many of the major employers here in the area.
Thank you. Mr. Pippo, what can the county do to bring more jobs to Solano County?
Maybe I take it from half-full glass approach. What can we do to regain the jobs that in the past 10 years have been lost in Solano County, and why have they been lost? Over-regulation, over-taxing, over-fees. I mentioned Rudy Dick's program. Check it out. He left here because of the harassment. And there's many, many, many more. There's a need for ag processing. We had a general plan that was done 2 years ago because it was going to bring in more ag processing. Where is it? There is no job creation. It hasn't happened. I wonder if we don't have a total reversal of the trend of over-regulating businesses that want to locate here. Will we ever gain the jobs? I kind of doubt it. I talked to friends of mine, Derek Lum, for instance, hauled his prunes, 50 bins all the way to Colusa County, and then had to find out that they got too hot and they were rejected, and he had to haul them back. Paid the transportation all the way up there, brought them all the way back, and used them for fertilizer. Why do we have to transport all of our processing out of the county? Because this county is not friendly for businesses to develop here. We need to get someone. I see they just hired a new environmental management director. I just saw that. Guess where the person worked before they came here? Yeah, city manager of the city of Davis. You know, the home of the frog tunnel, well, in his tenure. That's who our new environmental management director is going to be. What was the board thinking? City manager of City of Davis to be environmental management director. I'm looking forward to applying for a permit in this county in the next 10 years.